So there's this niche game called Among Us, which I heard about from TV.
They might be the imposter in the game Among Us. Matea.
What is sus?
And it has now ruined the word Among Us whenever I hear it in games, just like hearing the One Piece.
It's obvious what's going on. There's an imposter among us.
It is a game that grew in popularity during the lockdown and now is exclusively played by VTubers. Oh, but everyone was playing it. I mean, well, I only played it like 4 times and instead just watched successful YouTubers and streamers play it instead. If they are having fun, then that means I'm having fun. So lying to your friends is a tale as old as time, making them think you are something that you are not. But what better way than to monetize the death of Roman emperors than to put it in board games? Yes, you know, the things that people do in real life when they meet up and don't like watching sports. Games like Mafia, or this one with dwarves and gold that I had to play a lot, where you're given roles and objectives to complete, but other people may secretly be traitors who are actively trying to sabotage your run. Now this all works great when you're there in person, seeing people's reactions, the glee, the anger in their eyes, and you gotta lock in your poker face when you get accused as a traitor and you know them saying Bazinga will break the facade, and then say the wrong things to convince your friends that that's the right way to go on the board. You know, fun with friends. But then something happened. Toilet paper prices went up. And this board game thing wasn't possible. You had to be on Zoom meetings. You had to be online with your friends. And then in comes a game that released in 2018 to not much fanfare, but then exploded in late 2020 as it was the perfect game to play with friends if you all sucked at first-person shooters, or you liked watching other people play it.
Do you want to watch me vent? I'm not the imposter.
Hunting
Liz,
gun.
if I was the imposter,
Okay, let's drop it.
you'd be dead by now. Liz, if I was the
Which was then great timing for this niche game from Japan to suddenly get announced in a Nintendo Switch Direct in December of 2020 with a trailer that looked amazing. The art style feeling like a watercolor painting come to life, but then bam, you got a dolphin in a spacesuit, an alien sobbing its eyes out, and the Nintendo trailer guy going,
Those Gnosia are terrifying. I might have trouble sleeping tonight.
You'll be fine. Besides, there's an eclectic cast of characters you'll get to.
and so I had to play this, a game about social deduction. But the social aspect is that all the NPCs are in a single player game. How would this fare? Replacing your real life friend with a guy who dresses up still thinking electrofunk is in fashion. And it blew my mind because yes, this game does an incredible job of replicating that experience of playing those games with your friends, but now you can do it alone. A single player experience. These are your friends now, and they feel incredibly smart reacting to things you do. More than half of the crew are Gnosia. Wait, so who's the other Gnosia? It was SQ, I knew it! And this game has a tale to tell. You're going through many loops, trying to work out who is friend or foe. Gnosia started in development in 2015 by the 4-person indie studio Petite de Poto, being only their second game ever, where their first one was an Xbox 360 exclusive in Japan in the year 2013. Okay, so this is not financial advice, but bro, I don't think that was a good idea. And so Gnosia started out as a PlayStation mobile game. Oh. Then it got launched on the PlayStation Vita in 2019 after the console was discontinued. I feel like these guys do not want to sell games. However, as noted by a frickin' Bloomberg article, oh, that is how you know you made it to the big leagues, releasing it on a dead console actually gave them the most hardcorest of hardcore fans. Weeaboo Vita gamers. And they wanted the game ported to the Nintendo Switch, and as such it got into a Nintendo Direct, with the analyst noting it wouldn't have got that recognition without the Vita launch by itself. So what is Gnosia exactly? Well, you start up creating a character, where you got stat points to put in abilities like you would in a classic RPG, or for the more drunken detective of you, Disco Elysium, where more points in one stat helps your decision making in the game, like you can convince people easier or find out who is lying, things like that. And so you start
Slow down.
Get out of
I don't get it.
So this is Setsu, I will die for you. And so it seems like we might have memory loss. But there's something more sinister on board. A Gnosia, where this thing Gnos, some virus or other, takes over humans and wants to kill them. Now, the ship's AI, upon detecting its presence, would rather go to make sure Gnos is eradicated and doesn't take over the ship to spread throughout the universe. However, you make a deal with the ship's AI saying, nah, let us play a game and determine if we can figure out who the Gnosia is and put them into cryosleep until we land. Don't blow the ship up! So that's the game you play, where Gina, Setsu, Rakyo, and SQ are trying to work out who it is. So you vote, and well, the majority pick Rakyo, and then we can sleep for the next day.
Clean house.
But then the next morning, we get awoken by alarms!
Bazinga!
Oh no, sorry for overreacting like that, but it seems as though there is a Gnosia. Yes, turns out we picked wrong. Rakyo wasn't a Gnosia, and now Gina is dead, meaning it's either SQ or Setsu as the traitor. Since we trust Setsu, we pick SQ, and we save the ship! And so, Setsu gives us something.
I don't really want this.
But then, wait, where are you going? You wake up and it's suddenly day 1 again and everyone is alive. Wait, there's more people now. As yep, the game loops, where every loop is like a round of playing a board game. It all restarts. Who is friend or foe? It's not the same as before, and you once again gotta work out who the killer Gnosia is. The game does teach you how to play through it very thoroughly, an incredibly detailed guide, even having an FAQ where the questions are things you ask yourself in the shower, and turns out all you needed to do is increase the charm stat before you were born. And you get XP each round to level up Bazinga, so you could have this stat high enough where the Gnosia won't pick you to die that night, or stats to increase things so that you can convince other people on who is the bad guy.
Him. Let's get him, fellas.
So how it goes is you get 5 rounds where you can suspect someone or defend someone else. And NPCs will either go, I support your pick, or WTF, what are you saying, they're sus? Maybe, you're sus. Or you can be like the lion and observe. Not everything needs a reaction. However, even when you don't talk, that in itself is sus. Why aren't you speaking up, buddy, huh? Maybe you don't want to slip up, so you gotta balance all of this and then figure out who is the evil one. What makes this game even cooler is the challenge of it, where at the start every loop will unlock more mechanics. Just when you think you got the hang of it, you know, it's 5 rounds, then you vote, okay, freeze that person, wow, we got the bad guys, we win this round. Or it's, oh no, we picked the wrong person and now someone else has died to the Gnosia, so we gotta vote again. The game will go, nah, that's not enough mechanics, we'll add the engineer role. Yes, you get roles in this game. Who can check on one person every night to determine if they are Gnosia or not, but that person revealing themselves as the engineer, saying that out loud, like, oh, I figured this person is safe, trust me. The Gnosia and the group will be like, they look pretty tasty. And the Gnosia themselves could even go, oi, I'm the engineer, leading people to then pick the wrong person to vote off. Like in this round, I was the engineer here. What the heck? There can't be 2 engineers. Oh, you're lying! So you gun for them, trying to convince everyone that they are the fake, while they also know you are the real engineer, and they're probably going to kill you on the next night. So to counter this, you have roles like the Guardian Angel, who can save one person each night they pick. But they definitely should not reveal who they are, because then they will be targeted as they can't save themselves. You then have people who can supposedly see lies, but wait, what if on this loop, they are the Gnosia, so they are lying about who's lying? And this engine in the game works so marvelously well at playing these roles out. You think, oh, this person is nice to me. Etu Setsu. So as to the characters themselves, there are surprisingly a lot, and more surprisingly learning that the devs didn't design them first. They let the playtesters go through the game with the Mafia system, and then they had to work out, oh, this type of character would fit into this role. Like, we need a person that speaks cryptically. Oh, okay, let's make someone like that. Also amusing was learning that the game's music was made before the game, which will explain why the title song sounds like a mishmash of noise, but then the thinking voting music fits so well. It's so moody. I love how it has that spaceship theme and vibe to it, and it just makes you want to suspect Jonas again. So yeah, to the characters, Setsu is of course Bestsu. Rakyo always seems to hate your guts, and the alien, what the hell is that?
Oh no, aliens.
You have all of these characters and you can learn about them every day because you'll get a segment where you can hang out with one of them. It's usually just one line of dialogue, or you can visit many recreational areas of the ship. The characters there may also ask you to be their buddy on the voting the next day, so they will more likely support any random accusations you throw out. I still lost! But doing more character things with the characters unlocks, anime moments sometimes. But that then becomes a thing and why this game feels so addicting to play through. These voting bits don't take that long, and each time you finish, you can meet more characters and eventually learn more about them. And then, the secrets of the whole game. I mean, Setsu also, like you, remembers things through loops and was the one who gave you the thing, which at a certain point the game is like, okay, now on every loop, you can pick your role. You can pick how many players there are, how many Gnosia are in this round, just like the start of a board game, as certain events in the story and character moments only unlock on certain conditions, i.e. be an engineer and successfully call out 3 Gnosia in one loop, which requires, not dying to them, and the game is so helpful in that they want you to finish the game. They will add an event checker later on, so you just press it and it will pick the setup for you to see these unseen events, letting you actually finish the overall game story. Like, you don't know what role to be to see another cutscene? Press this button and it will say this setup is okay, so try to win this round. And man, I can't tell you how fun it is, how exhilarating. Each loop can be when you're thinking, okay, on this loop, they are the engineer, I am the crew member, Setsu is Betsu, so they would never lie. Oh, Comet, you have this special skill that lets you see when people lie. What's that, bestie? Comet is evil. Sure thing. Freeze him!
Nice to see you.
And then it turns out Setsu was evil and lying the whole time. And don't think they can have all the fun. You can also be a Gnosia. Oh man, this is so enjoyable because you know who the other Gnosia are, and you have to work together to take people out, calling out random people as sus, betraying all the friendships you build up along the way, and then picking who dies each night. And I just can't get over how good this game's programming is. Like here, the AI is so smart that when no one was saying engineer, I get asked, oh, are you the engineer? And yep, I reveal, I repair the sentries. But then he goes, so I know he's a fake, so I vote for him, but he votes for me since he knows I'm the real deal and wants me dead. Yet everyone just decides to pick Stella because none of us were good at convincing anyone else. I didn't think he would go for me because I picked him. The game will keep popping up with things like this to make it feel like the characters are real as the friends you played Mafia with. Or you watched your streamer play Among Us with their friends. And that aids that loop of learning more about everyone each time. Slowly and surely, you're unraveling their past. You're learning little tidbits about them. And also, what is this whole thing about the ship? Why are you even looping in the first place? Who brought the Gnosia here? Where are we even going? And as you unlock more skill points that make lying easier, surviving easier, there are special abilities that you can only use when your skills are at level 20. Even a staple in the visual novel genre, you have a backlog that can show all the dialogue that has been said recently so you can reread it. Yes, visual novel fans like reading even more. But if you have a higher logic in this game, you can go back even more to read more messages because your memory is bigger. I think I just love about this game is how it combines the lying aspect, but with other visual novel games, especially this one with the vibe and setting and type of characters, the one with amazing writing.
Well, I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or Merman or a Wolfman. I'm not a Brahmin or common or ramen.
In that how you also have to replay story bits and loop, and the characters will seem to remember what you did across them, and there is one character that helps you throughout this journey. And see, you grow to like all the characters, as since it's not linear, just like in real life, you may get angry at your friends one moment, but then the next time, me and my bestie, you can't stay mad at anyone here because they may be good on the next loop and you may need to work with them this time. This is with how the game's programming feels like it reacts to your choices. As the programmers say, the story is told through the game's mechanics, where the characters feel like they remember you. And then one loop, one of them may go out of their way to do something to save someone else. And the other loops, you may just be like, oh wow, Gina likes this food. Cool. Sugoi even. It makes them feel so real, even though this guy is probably going to get probed at Area 51. Now to more praise of the art style, which is really unique, and for sure, the artist loves the watercolors, each shade blending into one another. But I love how the evil Gnosia art for each character, they aren't always just evil sands. Like Rakio has some chameleon motif to the design, which is so cool that their evil art has them doing the wide-eye lizard stance. And I don't even know how you could concept a guy with Joker gloves that decided to artificially stick a cat inside his neck.
What?
I will say not everything is perfect. I mean, some lines will repeat in the voting segments where sometimes you'll have no idea who to vote for the first round, so you just keep quiet and you let everyone fight it out. But you have to skip through all these same lines to get through the 5 rounds. I know you can turn this option off in the settings to skip through dialogue, but I wouldn't recommend that for the first time player, as it might skip over lines you haven't seen before. But yeah, sometimes the voting can feel a bit repetitive when you have no idea who the bad guy is in that particular round, and you kind of want to just get to the story cutscenes to see more of your friends. Like, why is he eating ramen? But then, as with the game's success on the Nintendo Switch, it got an eventual Steam release to reach even more people, and yes, as absurd as it sounds, Gnosia recently got an anime. Yep, where they had to change up things to make it slightly different canon to be a linear story. But yep, Anime Among Us single player game is actually anime.
I wasn't trying to sneak a peeker.
Nah, you know you want to drink of this tall glass of water.
Gee, thanks.
And they got a stage play too. Jeez, wow, okay, maybe releasing a game for the Vita can do wonders. Huh, Sony? So that is what happens when 4 people in a dream to make Mafia, but for lonely weebs, turns out. And now they are popular enough to have someone in Japan who studied all their life in theater production now acting out their characters to a play that will never be seen by the West because Japan doesn't like it when you upload their stage plays online. Rip me in 2016 uploading an Ace Attorney stage play review. Oh boy.
Yeah, but they got him.
Wait, what do you mean they got him?
Oh, don't worry, guys. China just got another Ace Attorney collab cafe before Ace Attorney 7. Don't you love missing out on these things? Okay, what the heck? Literally, as I was editing this video, Gnosia drops a mobile phone release. So the PlayStation Mobile lives on in their minds after all. It just shows how much value these indie games have in the world, where you just have an idea you really want to do and a tiny bit of luck, and it will help you push your idea to everyone else, especially if you release it on a dead console. And now, we all know the truth in this world, that Setsu is indeed Betsu.
Trojan, Ramses, Magnum, Sheik.